Testing, testing, 1, 2. Is this thing on? Is this thing on? Hey, everybody. It's, what is today? It's Saturday. It's a beautiful Saturday. Man, it's been warming up here in Montana. It's been pretty nice. I just realized I don't have my glasses. That's okay. So I just wanted to talk about a couple of things. The first thing is I finally got to be able to monetize on the YouTube partner program. That's cool. But like I said before, I was cool with it or without it. I want to create content. Of course, look, everyone's going to call bullshit and say, yeah, but you really wanted it. Of course I really wanted it. Of course I did. But I don't think I'm going to like get rich from doing these YouTube videos. I don't think I'm ever going to have more than, 30,000 subscribers. I think that's probably where I'll plateau at, because I don't give legal advice. I give legal commentary on my knowledge of the legal system coming from the other side, the bad guy side. When I was a good guy making bad decisions, bad choices back in the day. And I think I'll talk a little bit more about that tonight. I think I will talk, because I keep saying that I'm going to do that. I just got to go to the chats. That I'm going to do that. And wait, what the hell's playing? Hold on. All right. I keep saying I'm going to share a little bit about where I come from and what I'm going to talk about and what my perspective is on the law. So, I think we'll talk a little bit about that tonight. And I'm definitely going to get to that update of the case where the 3 girls were killed in that car accident where they hit the guy and then he left. No, well, he didn't leave, but they traded information and then they left and he followed them. But we got some new information from the update that nobody knew in the beginning. From the first hearing, the mom tells the judge, "Hey, but you're not considering this. You're not considering that." So we will get into the update of that video, and I'm pretty excited about that because I have a lot to say about that. So let's get started with that, and then I'll talk a little bit more about what the plans are for my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is going to have we're going to have some. I'm doing a docu-series on a couple of things, on some old court cases that not a lot of people have, and I'll be announcing those soon because I haven't figured out which one I'm going to make the docu-series on, but there will be something badass coming up in the future. So let's get to this case. I'm going to start the first hearing kind of towards the end in the middle, and then we'll do the update. So this will just kind of catch everybody up on, and I'm sorry if I'm not looking in the camera, but I'm sitting at a high desk and the camera's a little high. So I'm trying to remember to look up there, but like I said, I don't have my glasses.
Worried.
Some other shit. So let's check this out.
I hear what you're saying, but I don't see that here. I'm just going to let you know, that's not what I see.
Can I say something?
Your client wants to speak. Do you have an issue with that?
Yeah, no, don't say anything at the moment, please. Judge, I think part of the reason that you don't see that there is because you're getting one version of the facts when you look at the police report. The police report doesn't have another version of the facts. Mr. Torres wasn't required to give a version of the facts or to say anything. And there's no other independent evidence. Even the video that they said showed him going at a high rate of speed, that video didn't show anything. There's no speed limit out there whatsoever. It's impossible to tell. But had this been a sentencing about somebody being involved in causing the death of someone else, that would be what the charge is. And I see your difficulty, Judge. It's tough because this is a sad situation, but that's not what he pled to. And had he known that this was going to be a situation where he has to, answer for, why things ended up the way they did, instead of just focusing on the leaving the scene of a property damage accident, he wouldn't have made that plea. I mean, it's a difficult case, and I know the prosecution had some difficulty, taking those charges away, and I'm glad they did, because it just wasn't something that could be proven. But if somebody rear-ends you and then they take off and you follow them, there's nothing illegal about that. And if those people choose to run away at a high rate of speed and get in an accident, that shouldn't be the person's fault who chose to follow them, and that person shouldn't have to go to jail because they chose to follow them. I'm sorry, it is an incredibly difficult situation.
But if they were in fear, this is where it's going to get crazy, where the update's going to come in. It's crazy, because I didn't know about this until the update. But if they're in fear, they're in fear. Look, I have daughters. If my daughter gets in an accident, someone gets out all crazy and she takes off. Now, I'm not saying that that's what happened here, but he's like saying, and anytime if someone takes off and they have this guy following them, that they shouldn't try to get away from him. Well, no, I want my daughters to run and get away from them. And then if they get in an accident because this fool scared them and they took off, then yeah, I want blood. I want that dude to pay for what he did. But that's not exactly what happened, and that's what we're going to find out on the update. So it's
very painful. It hurt my heart to read the police report also. It really did. And I know people may never see that, but it did, because it's a sad situation. But the solution isn't to throw somebody in jail because they chose to follow somebody. There's just no evidence that he was, trying to strike them, or that he hit them, or that he pursued them all the way until the accident. In fact, the evidence is the contrary. It's that they sped away from him, and that he couldn't even see them when he turned his vehicle around. The accident hadn't even happened.
And under your version of this, how far did he follow them?
According to the reports, he turned around on the street well before the railroad tracks, and the oncoming vehicles that passed the truck before it was in the accident did not see Mr. Torres's vehicle on that road. So he turned around before that even, at one of the turnarounds as soon as you get onto that road. According to Mr. Torres, what he said in the report was that he lost sight of them, turned around and called 911, and that's what he told 911. So, and that went along with all of the other vehicles that were coming down the road, was that they didn't even see Mr. Torres pursuing that truck. Nobody saw Mr. Torres recklessly pursuing the truck. Nobody. The only thing that saw is a camera and Mr. Torres's own comment to 911 that he followed them.
Okay, I understand that as you're talking about the idea of recklessness, and I've purposely been avoiding that because of what the charge was and what it's been reduced to. What I'm talking about is something a little bit different. I'm talking about young ladies take off. What happens if he indeed stays where he is? Your version of it, right, we may never know, but your version is the same thing happens. As I look at
the same thing
this,
could happen.
Pardon?
So sorry. I'm sorry, Judge. You're correct. My version is the same thing could have happened. Yes.
And when I read through everything, I'm saying, and I'm not trying to attribute necessarily a level of cause, but that they that something different happened because he continued after that.
I think in
So
order to
just so that I can finish that point, that makes this a different kind of failure to stop case in my mind. Because if he had stayed as
So because I started this at the end, I'll just kind of remind you guys of something. So there was two accidents. There was the accidents where they rear-ended him, and then they took off. But they're not talking about something in this hearing that is crazy important. And that's why the update was just amazing.
I read everything,
And
I
I'll be
don't know
playing
that
in
the
a
same
second.
thing happened.
But I don't think we know that the same thing doesn't happen, though. And that's the thing, is the failure to stop at a property damage accident isn't because they're worried that you're going to take off and chase somebody and have that person get in an accident. It's because they want you to stay behind and to report the fact that there was property damage and that there was an accident. I think what we're doing is we're taking it and we're moving forward with facts that absolutely 100% would have been disputed at preliminary exam and at trial had we known that they were going to be facts that would be considered. And that being the case, Judge, I would have preferred, if these facts were going to be considered, I would have preferred to have an evidentiary hearing on it, or a contested hearing. And that's actually what we initially elected to do before they dismissed the charges. So now those same facts that I initially wanted to contest are being used against Mr. Torres and accepted as true. And I'm not saying you shouldn't be able to do that as the judge. Obviously, you're the decision maker, but that's why we didn't move forward with a plea to anything or with a hearing as to anything, because when we set the case for a hearing on those disputed facts, the prosecution then removed those charges. So everything after this failure to stop at the PD accident, which was a compromise. I mean, I suggested that to the prosecutor, who graciously considered it. Everything after that, that's what's in dispute. In my position, judges, it's certainly not fair to consider the evidence as against my client simply for the fact that he chose to plead to something. These are contested facts, and if we're going to have contested facts, respectfully, Judge, I'd ask for an evidentiary hearing on them, or I'd ask that Mr. Torres be allowed to withdraw his plea if we're not allowed to at least contest the facts or put on, to challenge the evidence that the court's relying upon. And I don't think that you're relying upon crazy evidence, Judge. I think you're reading it the same way any reasonable person could read it. But there's also, it could just easily go the other way. And I don't want Mr. Torres to be put in jail for something that, with a proper hearing and proper evidentiary hearing, is something that I don't believe can be proven. And I think the prosecutor doesn't think it could be proven either, because they're the ones who withdrew that plea or that charge.
Okay, I hear you, but I don't know why, and I don't know that it's up to me to try to figure out why charges get reduced, because there are various reasons why that happens. So I don't know. I don't know what was going through the party's mind. I am telling you how I see this case, but I might see it differently.
Hey, I just want to say something real quick before I put my foot in my mouth or whatever I'm about to do. I love Judge Simpson. I love Judge Simpson. I respect him as a judge, and and my history is I come from the other side of the law. I would have, given anything to have a judge like Judge Simpson on any. Well, I've only had one big case, but on anything that I had ever done when I was on the other side of the law. Having said that, he's really, I don't know who he's trying to appease here. I don't know if he's trying to appease himself, the mothers. I get it. He's trying to get to the bottom of it so he can make a justified sentence, but the sentence as a misdemeanor can't be anything more than, I think, than 6 months. This guy has no prior criminal history, so I got him getting probation, but I think the judge is thinking he's going to max him out at 6 months. If he thinks that charges got reduced because the prosecutors were lazy to fight the case or whatever. But I don't got them being lazy though either, but they did just lose Miss Kirby. And so I don't know who's in there now making decisions. Well, of course, they're just assistant DAs, but I don't know who's in there making decisions now. But it's unbelievable because if what happened, if what the judge is saying happened or what he thinks what the other version of facts are, then yeah, this guy should definitely go to jail. I think, I don't know. I really don't know, but we're going to find out some stuff in the update that just is crazy. I know I keep saying that. So let's just get with the video.
And so right now and you can appreciate this. I'm reading the reports. I'm looking at that. I'm drawing my conclusions from it. I'm hearing you where there's a different conclusion. And because they're typically not at our sentencing, I'm not hearing from the prosecution regarding their side. And then
and why is that? Why isn't there a prosecutor at this guy's sentencing? We all know, like in Texas with Judge Stevens, there's always a prosecutor at sentencing. And they, say, hey, we want the max for this guy. Maybe because it's a misdemeanor. I don't know what Michigan law is regarding that, but that kind of blows my mind too.
I hear that, then certainly I can, because it's what I do, I can try to resolve that in my head to see if it makes a difference. I think I'm going to need, to start out with, I'm going to need a prosecutor present. And if it appears that I'm reading it wrong, I'm reading it wrong. But I'm seeing it a particular way right at this moment. But I'm going to need a prosecutor present. I will leave that to you to do, to make the decision as to whether or not you wish to withdraw the plea and send this back up on either the felony charges or something else. But I can't, my intent was to follow the recommendation of probation at least. And I hear what you're saying, that if that's what the court's going to do, you want an opportunity to maybe do something different.
So my main concern, the concern was more about the jail. I've talked to Mr. Torres. I'm sure that he doesn't want probation, but sometimes you get probation with a misdemeanor. So I wasn't concerned about the probation, and I could talk to Mr. Torres about whether he wants to withdraw the plea.
Wow.
And I appreciate the court considering my position as well.
I didn't catch that really. I didn't realize that this fool doesn't even want probation. No, he needs to accept probation. 3 girls were killed in an incident that you were involved in. If you chased them or not, you were in the first accident. Yeah, that was their fault. They rear-ended you or whatever happened. That's just dumb luck, bro. You got to accept probation. That's just dumb luck. 3 girls are dead. And I just know this, that if it was me and I was one of those mothers sitting back there, like, and where are these girls' dad? Their mothers probably kept the dads from being there. They probably go nuts or something.
I just don't want it to be. I've spoken too much on this, and I'm so sorry to take the court's time. But
no, that's fine. I realize that the mothers and I'm presuming other family members are here. So folks, I hope there's an understanding as to what the court is saying, and what I'm about to do. I'm not doing it to cause any more distress or angst on behalf of you folks, as well as I'm not trying to do that in terms of Mr. Torres. I just have to, in my head, be clear in terms of what I'm doing. And none of this is easy, but I hope you can at least appreciate that. And that because this is a hard case. I'm going to suggest, counsel, that maybe you speak with the prosecutor's office so that maybe there can be some understanding that the court could have. I'm going to adjourn the sentencing, and if you can't, then at least you understand where my head is, at least at this given moment. Then you could maybe file your motion to withdraw the plea or do whatever. I mean, I give everybody the opportunity. I will adjourn this to January 24th, 2024 at 9 a.m. Folks, I said everything at 9, but it's set in a different block and time block, and I'm sure somebody will get to you to let you know where that is. Okay.
All right. Excuse the
Any
bell.
questions?
I personally will be present on that day so that I don't
Please,
have to rely
please
on somebody else to
hit
not
that
show
like
up. And I'm
button.
very sorry to your court and to the victims' families for having
here
to
we
wait
go.
around.
That's fine. Can we, to the victim's advocate, I guess I'm going to put you on the spot. We can make sure that we have a prosecutor here on that day.
Oh, yeah, no, this isn't it. It's my own video. It's like, you don't
Yes,
even
it
know.
may be a little stronger.
It's coming though.
So you want?
Is there a way for you to request that?
I think the email will go out right now. Okay, who,
I think Morgan.
would it be Morgan? Okay,
Has appeared on, Ms. Reiser has appeared on this case before, so I'm not certain. Maybe if it goes to both.
both of them. Yeah, okay, why don't we send it to Ms. Reiser and to Ms. Barroso?
Okay, here comes the update.
I think Ms. Reiser took over.
Pardon?
I think Ms. Reiser took over for Ms. Kirby when she left.
Yeah,
This-
so why don't we send it to Ms.
This is just from when I played the video the first time. This is where I could jump forward. Don't worry, I'll get better at this live stream stuff hopefully pretty soon. There you go. I just don't want to go too far.
Did Nasser appear back yet?
No.
So that's the prosecutor
Let's do
in the
this one.
left-hand corner.
Court does call the case of people
And
versus
we get
John
some
Torres.
amazing information coming up.
Patricia Reiser on behalf of the people.
Good morning once again, Judge Joshua Van Lon on behalf of Mr. Torres, who's present in court.
Torres, can you state your name?
John Torres.
All right, I understand a couple of things. First of all, that just call them the moms they're present in the courtroom. I know you addressed the court the last time and we adjourned it out for reasons. Was there anything else either of you want to tell the court? Again, you most certainly can address me again. I want to make sure you get.
Our statement that we wrote was kind of addressing everything for all of us. Sherry, the other mom, they had car trouble, so she's watching it on your YouTube.
Oh, okay. Very good. Very good. All right. So there was nothing else you wanted to indicate. Let me
Yes, please do.
say a couple of things to you so that you kind of understand. And if you want to address the court after I say what I say, then certainly you may. First thing is that court went back and I reviewed the police report and other documentation that was given to me, because there were two sort of versions of events which would lead me to different conclusions. One version of the events is that Mr. Torres was nowhere near the accident scene at the time. My position initially on reading the initial reports in this was that, okay, he may not have been, but the cause of the accident was because of what had transpired. Now, part of my initial analysis of that would have been what I understood at the time to be his proximity to the accident. There was some discussion the last time, I don't know if you recall, but there was some discussion the last time regarding that proximity. There was then also a discussion as to, which complicates this matter a bit more, that there are actually two accidents that occurred. There's the initial accident, which was basically the bumping into the rear of the vehicle, the rear end collision, and then the ultimate tragic accident that occurred. That's also part of the complication, okay? The next part of the complication comes in that what the original charges were, what they ultimately pled to, and again, there was certainly advocated by the defense that he should be sentenced in accord with the failure to stop an ID at property damage acts, as opposed to the other acts. I needed, between the last time that we were here and today, a clarification as to what exactly Mr. Torres pled to. Because again, depending on what he pled to, those lead to two different results. I've had discussions with defense counsel in the prosecutor's office, and my understanding, and counsel can correct me if I'm wrong, that what Mr. Torres pled to was the original fender bender or the rear end collision, and not the ultimate tragedy that occurred in terms of that accident. That further,
But that's
the
fake.
reason
I'm dying for that to get to the part where the mom drops like this bombshell. What I feel like is a bombshell. I'm just trying to stay out of the way and let this play out without commenting, but I have a lot to say.
For that was because of his lack of proximity to the ultimate accident, that the data and other information revealed that he was nowhere near or not at all close to the scene of the accident that occurred. Now, having said all of that, I will let you know that changes this court's conclusion about sentencing in this matter, and would certainly cause the court to depart from the recommendation that probation, who I think was under the same assumption that I was under, had come to regarding the sentencing in this case. So, having said all of that, I don't know, and I guess, Mr. Torres, if you could have a seat folks, I realize one Moms is not here. She's watching on YouTube. If she wanted to sign in and address the court, certainly she may. No, right at the table, right here.
He's like, hell no, I'm getting out of here. I'm gonna go sit in the thing. You don't go to jail.
I've stated what I've said. Did you have any questions for me? Okay, come, I need you to, it's okay. I figured you might, and so I want to make sure I address the question.
So, one of the questions. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's okay. Can you state your name first?
Yes, Christy Green.
Thank you. Go ahead.
You're welcome. So when you say like he wasn't, his proximity to the accident, are you talking about the second accident?
I'm talking about the second accident. So,
Okay.
so just so you understand where I'm coming from and what I now
Yep.
see, there's the rear end collision,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then after that rear end collision, the first car, which your daughter was in, takes off. That Mr. Torres, as I understand the facts now, goes some distance, but isn't in the area when the accident, the fatality occurs. Which is a whole different impression than what I had initially.
Okay.
Okay, so go ahead with your question. I'm sorry.
Okay. So are you aware that the first accident, it just wasn't a hit and run? That there was actually video footage that my daughter got out and they went back and forth. They spoke.
You want to take your time.
Ugh.
And he took a picture of her license
Hold on,
plate.
I'm going to let her come up with you. And we'll get to it.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
So are you aware that it wasn't a hit and run because there's two different police reports, right? So there's Ypsilanti. Ypsilanti had it as a hit and run, but then there was a fatality through Superior Township, right? So,
The sheriff's department, right?
so when they investigated, because we had sat down with the prosecuting attorneys and we went through this and we actually asked quite a few questions when they were originally dropping the charges from the misdemeanors. But they called us in to sit down and discuss all this a while ago. So at that point, we asked quite a few questions. And it's my understanding that from Eastern, there was video footages that see when my daughter hit him, they stopped. They got out of the vehicle, they went back and forth. The detective had Mr. Torres' phone and verified that there was a picture of the license plate that was taken in his phone prior to him chasing them or following them or whatever it is that we're calling that right now. Are you aware of that?
Well, which part? I'm aware, let me tell you what I am aware of.
Okay.
As at least, again, as I understand it, that there's the initial accident.
Yep.
My understanding is that there was some contact between the parties to that,
Okay.
that it wasn't what one would describe as a hit and run.
Okay.
Somebody took off,
Yep.
right? And again, so that at least you're clear and I want to be clear as to how I'm looking at it, that what Mr. Torres ultimately pled to was not what it could be a hit and run, but was not a hit and run. It was basically a failure to stop at the scene of a property damage accident because the law requires that certain things have to occur or the person has to do something
The first
at the
accident.
scene. Right.
Okay.
But they did.
So then you said something about the second accident. So all we're talking about is the first accident because you said he wasn't in proximity of the second accident. And I don't know how.
That's what the data, that's what I see from the data.
Okay. So the first driveway, if you're to pull on that street, he would very clearly been able to see what happened. So I just want to make sure we're not talking about that because I don't.
See what happened. Okay.
The second accident.
The second accident,
Yes. He was with it.
whether or not one could see it or not, he was not in proximity to that accident.
What would you consider proximity?
That he's a distance from that accident.
What just?
So what, well, I can't give you I can't lay it out by feet or anything like that, so I can't say that. What my understanding, the facts are, is that he's some distance from when the accident occurs. Now, hold that thought for a moment, okay? Because my initial reading of this was that that the cars take off, right?
Mhm,
And that he is indeed following them, but doesn't stop,
correct.
right? My understanding is he stops at some point and the accident occurs further down. But at the point that that happens, he's not, what do you want to call it, in pursuit, chasing, following, he's not doing that at that point. That's my understanding now. Now, if you believe that there's something that says something different,
Mhm.
then I certainly want to see it. But that is, when I'm now looking at everything, that's what I see.
Okay, I don't believe his vehicle. I think it was too old to have a black box in it that would show where he actually was.
That's the data from the accident reconstructionist says something different than what my impression was. That's what I'm.
Okay, so then maybe I didn't see that, but the driveway that he clearly stated he pulled in, I would say is 10 car lengths, 10 car spaces from where the accident happened. So you can say close proximity, not close proximity. We could all have a different understanding of that.
So that's one of the deals that I didn't realize from the first hearing was that, first of all, he pled guilty to leaving an accident from a property accident from the first accident. But they stopped. And what the next mother is going to say when she signs in is going to blow your mind, if I'm remembering it right, is that no, they stopped and traded information. I didn't want to say it. I wanted it to be revealed on the video, but I'll just say it. They exchanged information, and then for some reason the girls left and he took off after them or followed them or something. But if she's saying that he was, because what happens is that he stopped, but then they got in an accident, and if he was only 10 car lengths away, what responsibility does he have to go help those girls, or to call 911 or to do something? I say he absolutely has a responsibility to do that and try to help them. But they can't prove that he's seen it. But if he was 10 car lengths away, look, I live way out on this road in Whitefish, Montana, and you can see accidents half a mile away, and you would want to like go up there, or you can see a car in a ditch a half a mile away or a quarter of a mile away. So I think it's crazy. If he was only 10 car lengths away, I think it's crazy that he wasn't the guy who called 911. He didn't go over there to try to help those girls. I don't know. I don't know. This is just such a crazy case that I don't know. It's hard to say it. And that fool never speaks. He never speaks. But what's cool is that there's going to be a third update, and we're about to.
So I disagree with that statement, because I think it's based on how we would personally look at it. So I just wanted to clarify that, but I don't know that that's going to make a difference in what we're doing sentencing right now for.
Yeah.
Let me just tell you this, ma'am. And I'm just kind of a straight shooter about things.
I appreciate that.
This whole case troubles me, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes I just I guess it would be
Sad.
great doing this job if I weren't a human, because then I don't have to deal with things that I have to set aside in my mind.
I understand.
Parent to parent, I'll just say this. After we were here the first time, I could only think about my daughter. And that I would want something to happen. I'm not even sure if I were I'm not even sure what I would want, right?
Yeah.
But that I would. And I had to kind of, people I think that when judges leave the bench, we kind of leave everything behind us and we don't think about things. This one has been with me. I want to say a lot, but I think it's been sitting in the background and on just all my thoughts. But I also realized, in great part, setting that emotion aside, I realized I had to do my job, right? And I also realized that if I could, but I know I can't, that I don't have the power to bring back who you lost. In a lot of ways, sitting here is a helpless feeling, because it really doesn't matter what I do.
That's just it. It doesn't matter really at this point. I get it. Like he said, you want something to happen because your daughter has passed, and if the guy did it or not did it, you want something to happen. But what does it matter? You know, as a Christian, I would say I would do everything I could to forgive that person. But if I think about my 5-year-old daughter, and if she passed away, I don't think I could live any longer, you know? And so I don't know. I can't, know how those ladies are feeling, but I get it. They want something to happen, but like sending this guy to jail, or, they're fighting over probation right now. I think, he doesn't even want probation, but he's going to have to take that hit. It needs at least probation, but I'll keep playing.
That's how I feel.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I feel.
I can't make it right. And I know I can't. I realized that being limited in that regard, that all I can do is try to make the correct decision.
Yeah.
And while this may sound crass, I don't mean it this way, but it's the best words that I can come up with, and then let that fall where it may. And the way for me to do that is to try to make sure I have a clear understanding of, as best I can, what happened. If, and I said this before, if my impression that I had initially was that there's the rear end collision, and then at some point this chase happens, and I purposely use that word chase happens, then the consequence of that chase may rest with Mr. Torres, right? That's one scenario. The other scenario is the initial accident happens, and then there may be this brief moment, and you're right, they're out of the vehicles at some point. Then there's this brief moment where the vehicle takes off. He may even be headed in the same direction, but then stops, calls the police. Under that scenario, he wouldn't then be attributable, or it wouldn't be attributable to him, and he wouldn't be the cause of it. When I went back, and like I said, I'm just trying to do the right thing. And when I went back and looked at everything, it's that second scenario that I'm seeing. And if you think
Wait till the
that
next
there's
mom
something else that
calls.
I should look, I looked at everything, but if you want me to look at something else before I post sentence, I will do it. I mean, I don't know that it would lead me to anything different. But I will say this, I also didn't think looking at it again would lead me away from the first conclusion I had.
Yeah.
Right? But if there's something you think that I should look at, I'll do it. I mean, I'm not, like I said,
For leaving,
in the end, I can't bring your daughter back. I can't bestow upon you just peace and solace, and I can't do that. But what I can do is at least have you believe that somebody looked at it and looked at everything and that you were heard. That I can do. And if that's what you want me to do, I will do it. When they told me, and I know when we adjourned it out, I was informed by the victim's advocate that you guys were on your way and that you were stuck in traffic or something like that. And my words were, we'll wait. I could have gone ahead because you've already addressed the court, but I said, no, I'm going to wait because I want to make sure that they're heard.
thank you, and I appreciate that.
All right.
Can you grab my phone? I want to make sure that Sherry, she's watching. I want to make sure that she doesn't have anything to say. So the question that you're asking about.
You're in communication with her then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, she's watching on Zoom.
Did she want to sign in? I mean,
That's what I'm trying to find out right now.
Okay.
So the question is for
Go ahead. You
I
can
want-
message her if you want.
if I want you to look at additional evidence. We're talking about evidence on just the first leaving the scene of the accident. What is being charged for? Is that what you're asking me?
No, what I'm asking you is
There's a
that if you
witness.
think that there's something
There's a
I'm
witness.
not seeing that would lead me to change my view of now what I have about causation, I'll look at it. I don't have a problem doing it.
Okay.
And so that's maybe to better answer
So
your
do we think
question.
now
It's that period between.
it's almost like now he's investigating the case. You know, do you know what I mean? I don't know. Like I said before, I love Judge Simpson, and I totally agree with everything he just said about, like, yeah, I want you to know you're being heard, and that I'm going to do what I can, but I can't bring your daughter back. But now I feel like he's investigating the case at sentencing, and this lawyer's head has got to be exploding inside. And he's a badass. He's a badass. He knows how to come with empathy and but also advocate for his client. So yeah, he's a badass. And I don't know. This just gets crazy. It's just nuts.
Between the first accident and the second accident, that time frame.
Okay. I don't know if you want me to step out and make a call or if you want me to do it from right here.
You want to call her to say,
Yeah.
okay, if you want to step out, you can.
Okay.
And do you think, just imagine this case being in Judge Bryant's court for all the law nerds out there. And I'm a law nerd. So this is a law nerd stream tonight. This isn't like an entertaining train wreck stream. This is all of us just watching the law, the justice system. So I know it's boring for a lot of people. I see people going in and out and leaving, staying for a second. That's cool. I want people to watch these videos, my videos, because of at least tonight, of just the legal system at work. And is he stepping out of his role? Is it like he doesn't do this? But I guess what my original point would, Judge Bryant would be like, look, the most I could give this dude regardless is some jail time. But I can't even justify that because he's guilty. He pled guilty to a misdemeanor, and the recommendation is probation. That's what she would say. You guys have seen her. If you watch Judge Bryant, she goes ballistic on victims. I have like 3 videos that on my page that she just goes ballistic on the victims. She's like crazy. I'll put a link to those videos in the description after I'm done. But anyway, let's get back to it.
Go ahead.
Thank you.
Court briefly passed. Stores, you can remain right there. That's not what. Oh, this is Al Freeman. Okay, thanks. Let me try to get to Mr. Freeman. Are you ready on that?
Again, sorry about the bells and whistles. I wish I just had the straight video, but this is what I made. All right, here we go.
Okay, Ms. Smith, try again. Unmute. Let's see if we can hear you.
All right, can I be heard now?
Wow.
I took out all the. It was a long time. Yes, please hit that
Remember
like
that.
button.
We just
Help
learned
the channel
something.
out. I appreciate it.
Okay, Ms. Smith, try again. Unmute. Let's see if we can hear you.
Can I be heard now? I am unmuted.
Yep, I can hear you. Does she have another device?
She had YouTube on.
Oh, you gotta turn YouTube down because otherwise I hear myself twice and I don't even like listening to myself once. So
All right.
I got it? Okay. All right. Now everybody's here. Okay. Did you have a question, ma'am, or something else you want to tell the court? I think you were listening to what I said before.
I would really like for the initial phone report when he called into 911 to be relooked at, because from my understanding in that 911 call, admits to the chase. He admits to turning in the driveway before the railroad tracks, and he admits to seeing some dust. So what dust did you see if they're on a paved road and you're not on a dirt road? The dust you saw was them going over them railroad tracks and crashing.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I had seen
Yeah, he's not being honest.
So what you're asking me, just so that we're clear, you want me to, if it exists still, you want me to listen to that 911 call?
I would love for you to listen to that 911 call. I mean, I know at this point it's probably not really going to change anything that we're looking at, but at least to get our understanding heard and maybe get a different look at it. It's just, if you're admitting to it and you tell them you turned around in the driveway before the railroad tracks, which is where they crashed, none of it just sits well with anybody.
Okay. Miss Reiser, does that still exist that the court could get a copy of the
She's
911
probably like, great. Because they're
call?
Yes, I believe so.
you know, because this is on YouTube, you know, they're kind of the bad guy here is the prosecution because they dropped all the charges, all the felonies, and took it to this misdemeanor. So they got to kind of be flipping out. Also, you know, they're in the spotlight on this one, but they stand mute almost through the whole thing.
Okay. So you want me to listen to the 911?
Yes.
Anything else you want me to?
I mean, I know in the end, it's like I said, probably not going to change anything, but at least we are heard. At least it makes a difference in my eyes that it's heard and it's relooked at.
Okay. I can't, so that you understand, I'm looking at it for the purposes of sentencing, from my standpoint. I can't change, I don't have the authority to change any charging decision, what the plea was or anything like that. So I want to make sure you understand that that's not why I want to see all of it. I just want to have the correct perspective on it.
Yeah, but the last hearing,
And
but the last hearing, you were talking about, you know, yeah, because the defense lawyer said, yeah, you know, if you're gonna do that, I'm gonna withdraw the plea, and then we'll fight them. So of course she kind of thinks that because Judge Simpson said, yeah, you know, we'll send it back, and then maybe they'll file some felony charges. So she's not wrong for thinking that.
if you think that will lead to something where it may change my thought process, and I don't have a problem looking at that, Ms. Smith.
I definitely do.
Okay.
And the only thing that I just want to add is that he had a picture of the license plate from the first accident. When he left, he already had the information he needed to file a police report on it. So that's the only thing I want to add for it.
Okay. So that's the second time that you mentioned that, and I want to make sure I understand what you're trying to tell me on that. So let's say that this picture exists. I'm not disputing that it does. The picture exists on his phone. What do you want me to take from that?
So the charge that you're sentencing on right now is leaving the scene of the accident, the first accident, not the second accident, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So leaving the scene of the first accident, I just wanted to clarify and make sure that we all knew that it wasn't a hit and run because Ypsilanti had that in their police report. And then when Superior Township Sheriff's Department, they clarified that it was not a hit and run. There was a stop. My daughter and Mr. Torres got out. They had a conversation. He went to the back of the truck. He took a picture with his phone of the license plate. There was also text messages that were sent from the accident that was sent to someone saying she just ran into somebody and he's taking a picture of the license plate. So that's what made us ask the question, and it was verified that they took his phone, just like they took the girls. They had all the phones and evidence, and there was a picture, according to Detective Yee, that he did have a picture of a license plate in his phone. So technically, he really didn't need to leave the scene of the accident. That's what I'm adding to it.
That he didn't need to leave the scene. Okay.
He had all the information to make a police report, a proper police report.
Right. But he didn't. That's part that. So.
Right. So why did you need to pull off and proceed with the chase when you had all the information?
Well, okay. I hear
He had all the
you.
information, but he didn't have them. But I get it. He could make the police report and they would get charged for, I guess, a hit and run because they took off. So yeah, I get what they're saying, but they're looking at it through the eyes of my daughter is passed. It was killed in a car accident and nothing is happening.
And let's back up a moment, okay? So that you understand. If somebody's involved in an accident, what's really supposed to happen, ideally, is everybody is supposed to remain there and call the police. So what I hear you saying is he could have remained there, but did not.
Mhm.
And had the information that he needed to do the police report. Is
Correct.
that, did I got that?
Yes.
Okay. Right. And I'll probably have to think that through, but I don't know what I would do with that. And the only reason I say that is because I really could say the same for both vehicles.
Well, clearly.
Yeah, that both
Mhm.
both should have remained there.
Yes.
It's a moot point though, because
Having done
no-
this for a while, I can tell you that doesn't happen. Usually one is off someplace or nobody does anything. So I don't, I mean, I'll think about it, but I don't know. I don't know really what I would do with that piece, or that I could say,
Can I add something
That-
else?
yes. I just want to, let me just finish this point. I don't know that I could try to sit there and hold Mr. Torres or your daughters to a higher standard than what in practicality happens out there.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean,
But I'll think it through. I mean,
okay.
okay.
Also the 911 call, I believe, he said he was following them, chasing whatever the wordage was used. I did not hear
well,
that.
you want it to be chased because then he's guilty of really killing your daughter's manslaughter or whatever vehicle, whatever that would be. So everyone wants to be the word to be chased, but
911 call. But he stated that he was following them, chasing them, whatever, to get their license plate number. Like that was the reason for
Okay,
it.
I see. What
And
you're
here you
saying.
had it.
Okay.
So
So
I
what
think
you're
more
saying
just
is,
pointing that out.
got it. So what you're saying is the picture was already taken.
Correct.
That's how this flows in. Okay, I see. The picture's already taken, but then at some point
he
in
tells
the
them
911 call, which occurs later, he's claiming that he is following them to get the license plate.
Yeah, because of a hit and run.
Got it.
And
Can I
again, I
add
did
one-
not.
Or ask one more thing.
Yeah, certainly. Go ahead, man.
Through this whole court situation, my surviving daughter has not been spoken to.
mind blown. That's crazy.
And even got to tell her side of any of the situation.
That's so crazy to
The
me.
number one key I feel in the whole situation should have been her being the survivor, and she should have been talked to. Is there a reason that she, as the only surviving witness, has not been brought into this?
Okay, let me just stop you there. And that's the one caution that I'm making. I can't.
So why wouldn't they talk to her? That's blows my mind. She was in the accident. Like, and isn't it crazy that the prosecutor up in the right-hand corner just doesn't say anything through any of this because they can't hold their head up high on this one. I really feel like they dropped the ball. Like, even if they couldn't prove anything, they should have at least fought for it, because the judge is fighting for him at sentencing. He's doing something that he never does. He's fighting for them, but he's also saying, there's nothing more. I can't, make any changes. This is a crazy, crazy sentencing. Like I said, this is a law and order sentencing for sure.
Wind everything back.
Mm-hmm.
I can't do that. I can't make these charges become something different. I can't change the plea. I can't do that. And so the question you asked may be a very good one. I don't know, but I'm not involved in the investigation part of these things. So even if I knew the answer to that, I don't know that it would do me much good, because I can't, that would not be my normal bailiwick to operate in.
Yeah, it's just based off of the current charges right now on the misdemeanor for leaving the scene of an accident.
I think the prosecution owes them an explanation on all of it. Like, maybe not at this hearing, but like privately. Like, if I was the prosecutor, I would like in the chat or like just say, like, you know, Mrs. Smith, you know, I'd really appreciate if you would give me a call this afternoon and we could have a discussion. And so she could explain why they didn't talk to her and explain why all those charges were dropped.
That's what where we're at right now.
Right. And so I can't get into anything in the investigation. I can't really get into that. I mean, I can look at things, but I'm only looking at them for the purpose of making sure that I impose the best and most just sentence I can. I mean, that's all I can do.
Yeah. And I think the reason that she brought up the 911 call is because after leaving the scene of the accident, which is what the charge is right now, right? He didn't necessarily have to leave the scene of the accident because he had the information with him, and the kids didn't either, but they're not here to, you know, be charged or whatever else.
It's heavy.
So she's saying just listen to it.
I
Because
will.
he says that he is speeding, he's doing all these things. He was going for the license plate number, which he already had in his phone.
I will absolutely do what I say I'll do. And so, Ms. Reiser, how long would that take you to get that to Ann so that I can hear that?
I
And he
think I can
also-
email it. I can try to do that.
Okay.
The defense lawyers look at him. He's like, dude, this is a misdemeanor sentencing, and this is like hour 5 altogether with the first 2 hearings, you know, the 2 hearings put together. This is hour 5, but I get it. I don't want to come off as like I'm being crass or, you know, or unsensitive about it, because I'm super sensitive about this whole case, but it's just not.
Okay. If you can get that to us, if it has to be on a drive or something, then we'll just have to do it that way. It doesn't matter to me. I just want to hear it. They want me to do that. Is there anything else you
Can we
want?
adjourn for you to do that?
Pardon?
Can we adjourn for you to do that? I had a couple other hearings I need to go to, and
You're breaking up on me, counsel. Yes, I'm
Sorry.
going to
can we
adjourn
adjourn
the
for you to do
hearing.
that?
Yeah, I will be adjourning it, if that's okay with
I'm sorry to
everybody.
interrupt.
Well, if it's not, that's what I'm going to do anyway. So I'm going to adjourn it so that can get to me. I'm sorry, your last name again?
Green.
Green?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I can't remember simple names, right? Ms. Smith, Ms. Green, is there anything else you want me to look at, or anything else? And again, I just expressed to both of you, I can only do so much, but I'm willing to do what I can, at least so that you're heard. So if nothing else, and that's not great consolation in the circumstances, but it's all I got. So
Are you able to watch the videos that they have from the campus of the actual first initial rear end?
okay, you want me to watch the videos? Okay, so what would you be asking me to look at regarding that?
Because from my understanding, he also waves them to go around him once they all get back in their vehicles. So if they all get back.
See, that's crazy. That's where this like case doesn't even make sense. Like, it doesn't make sense. If they got in an accident, they talked, he took a picture. Okay, see you later. You know, go around me. And then there's a 911 call of him saying, hey, I'm chasing or following this person because they left the hit and run. It doesn't make sense. Like, someone's lying or someone's, or the reports are wrong, but they didn't talk now, you know, and now we find out tonight that, or the other night, but us here in this stream, we find out tonight that there's a witness that they don't even talk to, that was in the car, that knows every single detail. Maybe they think that she will be biased, you know, like we can't trust her. But you have to at least talk to her once. So I don't know. It's all nuts. But yeah, it's crazy.
Back in their vehicles and he's waving them to go around him. Why are you waving them to go around you?
Okay, so let me ask you this. What would you want me to do with that information? Let's assume that that's true. What would you want me to do or draw from that?
So him leaving the scene of an accident, if you're waving them around, you're basically telling them, go ahead and go. So they leave, you leave, and then you proceed to call 911. If you're waving them to go around, that's basically you saying, go, everything is okay. That's like a setup. So basically you set them up. If you're waving them to go around you, you're basically saying everything is okay. So then you call the police after you wave them to go around you.
Okay, but what do you again, assuming what you're telling me is the truth, what would be your theory about what he's setting them up for?
We don't know what. That's what, you know, the initial thing is. Why did you wave them to go around and change? I just want you to look at all aspects before you final sentencing on your decision.
Okay. I mean, I'll look at, you know, I went through stuff and, you know, I'm just going to let you ladies know, I normally don't do this. I get my report. I look at my report. I kind of have my thought process as to what's occurred, and that's what factors into my sentencing. But I'm willing in this instance to go beyond where I would normally go because I want to get it right. Not that I don't want to in other cases, but I want to certainly get it right. It's not going to make everything right for you guys, but like I said, I will look at it. But I again will say, I'm not going to be stressing to the prosecutor, defense counsel, anybody else, or the police that anybody did anything wrong or did any of that, or they should go back and I'm not doing that.
No, we understand that.
Okay. Yeah. I just want to look at it, see what it is, and be able to formulate my decision. And whether you agree with my decision or not, and I tell attorneys this all the time, in some ways I can't be concerned about that, but I just want you to know that I did the best that I can in terms of reaching my decision, that I looked at everything. And that's what I want to look at here. So,
and I appreciate that.
So I will, I'm not clear.
Let me stop this for a sec. You know, you know, her daughter being a witness, she must not have anything really to say that's different than what, you know, basically that's different in the police report, or else the mother would say, well, but my daughter said this happened. Do you know what I mean? She would say that if there was something that was extremely different, like they all got out and the guy was like, you know, you dumb bleeps and this and that, and you effing, you know, and then they got in their car scared, left and ran, and then he chased them. Nothing like that happened. So there must not be too much. And maybe that's, I don't know. I mean, not maybe that's why they didn't talk to her, but maybe that's not important that they didn't talk to her, because the mom would know what the daughter's saying.
With regard to looking at that video, I don't know that video gets me anywhere. I mean, I know that there's the collision. I know there's the contact between the individuals. I know that there is then both vehicles leave. That's what I know. It's really the issue, as I kind of explained from the beginning, what happens from that point when both of them sort of leave, and then the ultimate accident that occurs. that's really kind of where I'm focusing in terms of what I do with this portion of the sentence. So I'm not sure that what you're asking me to look at, I don't know that it will help me in that regard. But if Mr. Reiser, if that's broken apart, I'll look at it. I just don't know that it's going to get me anywhere, but I'll look at it.
You're talking about specifically the cameras from the accident. The first,
Pardon?
you're speaking specifically from the camera video footage of the first accident.
Of the first accident.
Okay.
That's what I believe Ms. Smith was talking about.
Yes.
So
Okay.
I don't have a problem. I'll look at it.
And we do appreciate you. And we watched you on YouTube for quite some time at the very beginning of this case. So we kind of understand how you work and
How you understand how I work?
a little bit.
What's that mean, Miss Green?
No, just watching you and, giving people opportunities. I mean, I think that you've been very fair in most everything that we've watched. So, and we were hoping that it carried along with you and weren't changed to, different judges at different times.
Well,
So
I appreciate those kind words. I really do. I don't know that I could say much else to that, but that did not fall on deaf ears. Thank you very much for that, man.
Ooh, I like
Okay, so what I will do, Ms. Reiser is going to get those two things to me.
that. So
My next date will be
February 14th at 9 a.m.
February 14th.
Valentine's Day. Can I don't know if I'm allowed to request, but we tend to have struggles. I'm from the other side of town. So going through rush hour and everything else, coming all
Other
the way
side of
across.
town.
Yeah, Clinton Township.
Oh, that's a whole other place. Other side of town is west side of Ann
So on
Arbor.
the
No, go
14th, I'm going to do a live of that hearing for his sentencing. So I'll be live streaming that. So I'll set out in the community tab, I'll set out a reminder that I'll be live, and I'm still learning how to do all that. So like the premiere, I can set up, whatever it is, I'll figure it out. But yeah, or you guys can subscribe. That would be dope. Hit subscribe, and now I think you can join. And you for like 99 cents a month. I'm gonna have live streams for members only, where we can all talk, and then I'll invite members to join in with me live, in a camera, in a square, and we can talk about cases. Also, I'm doing a thing on Judge Simpson where he was, I'm doing a investigative type series thing that I'm putting together on Judge Simpson, where he was accused of sleeping with one of his students. Because I don't know if everybody knows, he teaches law at the University of Michigan, at U of M Detroit. There's like a few U of M's, U of M Ann Arbor, of course, and then U of M Flint, and then U of M Detroit. But anyway, I digress. So I'm doing a thing on him, and then I will be live for the sentencing of this cat. But I'll send out early reminders.
So, and then usually we have a group where we got to stop and do ride shares and whatnot.
So, okay, so hold on.
10 or after.
Hang on. What? And Ms. Smith, were you going to try to make it too?
I will be at the next one. Yes.
Okay, so let's do this. Hang on.
I'm coming from downriver, so I'm coming a nice little distance myself as well.
So
if we
you're coming from way, okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Going like this.
No, they want to be
Let's see.
here. So just make it,
I have no
why
sponsor.
don't we make it on that date?
I
Judge,
barely have a camera in the microphone.
I'm in trial the
So
week of the 14th.
counsel,
Yes, Judge.
will the 14th work for you?
It does not. I'm in trial in Macomb County Circuit Court, Judge Viviano's court for Bowen's trial.
Okay, so hold on. Let's find a date that's going to work. Just give me a special.
Although if the court, Judge, if the court allows me to appear via Zoom, I will make that work.
So you can appear via Zoom that day.
Yes, I'll just make sure I let the judge know that of the trial that I have.
Okay. And I guess out of courtesy, I should ask Ms. Reiser, will you be able, but you will I was thinking of giving this a switch February 14th at noon.
That's perfect for me.
Will that work, Ms. Reiser, for you?
I think so, Your Honor.
All right. That will work for you, ladies?
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. So February
So
14th
I'll
at
adjourn it
noon,
to
I'll be
February
streaming live.
14th, 2024, 12 noon.
That'll be
All
cool.
right. Thank you,
All
Judge.
right. Thank you.
Thank you.
You got that for us? All right. Thank you, folks.
All right. Cool.
Enough.
Enough.
Yes.
So yeah, well, we'll have an update on there too. So it'll be a 3-parter. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'm going to try to do more live streams. I'm moving back to Billings, Montana here in a few weeks. So I don't know how many videos I'll be putting out, but I'm putting together that a thing on Judge Simpson, where he was sanctioned in the state of Michigan, and not a lot of people know about that. If you're from Detroit, you know about it, but I'm going to put together a little thing on that, some informational stuff. And did you guys see the Vandershank thing up in Michigan? Oh my God. I didn't even hear about that. How did I miss that case where she like starved her teenage son? That is so nuts, man. And so I've been watching a bunch of stuff on that. I wanted to do some comments on that whole case, but I'm sure you guys have watched it all. So I don't know. I don't want to like rebroadcast, something that's really saturated out there. But man, what a sad, sad case. And then her son that was like helping her abuse the teenage son, that whack job. What a whack job, dude. Oh my God, it's so crazy. But anyway, thanks for coming out. I don't know why I'm laughing. I'm just giddy tonight. I did a pretty couple cool tattoos today. Some Army, a guy was a Vietnam vet. And, yeah, so it was pretty cool. I work on a lot of veterans, I work on a lot of convicts and a lot of law enforcement. I've been tattooing for a really, really long time. So yeah. And if you want to see my portfolio, I'm not trying to sell anyone tattoos. This is totally separate from all that. But if you guys want to see my portfolio, you can go to my Facebook page or my Instagram. It's Sam at Cryptic Tattoo Company. And you can check out my work. I'm pretty good. I must say. But anyway, I love doing this, man. I'm so excited that I got monetized. But like I said, I'm not trying to build a mansion with monetization or anything. Just a simple subscribe is cool. I don't need you to become a member. But it would be cool. Like if I had 100,000, subscribers, and half of them become members for 99 cents a month. That's a lot of bread. But, I don't know if I'm going to do this, forever. But maybe, I don't have a retirement as a tattoo artist. We don't have a 401k, so I don't have a retirement. Maybe this could be my retirement. But if you could comment on maybe some things you see that I'm doing that's lame, or things that you see that I'm doing good. If you could put that in the comment section, that would be cool. So I can kind of like mold my channel. If there's any kind of content that you would like my opinion on, I would love to do that and do reaction videos. I could do Karens and I could do body cams, but everyone's doing that. I have some friends that do that. Mandy Reacts, I think is her channel name. To stuff like that. And then some other people. I really like Bruce Rivers. Bruce Rivers is dope. He's that stop snitching lawyer. I don't know if he's in Los Angeles or not, where I'm from, but he's pretty cool. Of course, Credence and Mikey. I love watching them. I'm sure a lot of you guys watch them too. But yeah, YouTube is fun, man. You know what's crazy is that I never watched YouTube until a year and a half ago. Maybe to like fix a sink or something like that, but I never, ever watched YouTube. Ever. I bet you before a year and a half ago, I bet you I watched YouTube maybe 10 times I went on YouTube. But it's kind of a weird, my friends and family give me shit about it. It's kind of weird how it all evolved. I'm turning this light on. It's like bright at my, I started watching this bounty hunter guy. Man, I can't remember his name. Oh my God. He's like a bounty hunter and he goes out and he arrests all these dudes and kicks doors down and he's got his dudes. Man, what was his name? But anyway, I was watching him on Facebook Reels and like every morning with my coffee, I'd watch this guy and it was nuts. And then in the Facebook video Reels, like you get a next one, like the next video or whatever. It was like little shorts from that channel that does the interrogation videos. And I started watching interrogation videos. And then something from Law Talk with Mike came up. It was some train wreck hearings with Judge Manning in Fulton County. And I was like, she's like pre-trial and she's like doing her whole thing and, yelling at dudes. And I was like, man, that is so badass. And then I went from watching his little clips on Facebook or wherever it was to going on YouTube. And then I became a YouTube premium member. So I didn't have to watch all the ads. And, that was all she wrote. Man, I'm telling you, I would watch, trials and I would watch Law Talk with Mike. And then I started watching other creators. And dude, I was watching them while tattooing. All my customers were like complaining. They're like, you don't listen to music anymore? Because I would just have court hearings on. When the Murdoch trial was on, I was watching that in the shower. I was like listening to it in the shower, and then while driving, I would have it playing in the background. But yeah, just crazy. It's all super nuts how this all evolved. And then I just felt like I had a lot to say about some stuff, and and I don't want to like be a cop hater or a lawyer hater or a judge hater. There's bad cops and bad lawyers, and there's great cops and great lawyers out there. I had a comment I was doing a live or something, and I was like, oh man, that lawyer really, jumped on a grenade for his client. Like he like took the blame for something his client did to save his client from getting a harsher sentence or something like that. And I got all kinds of shit in the comments like, oh, you're delusional. I'm out of here. What the hell? Lawyers suck. F lawyers. Someday a lot of us are going to need a lawyer. I'm not saying there's crooked lawyers. There's lawyers that are crooks. I get it, but we can't just hate everybody just because, the shit ain't right because our government isn't right or or we can't hate the, that saying, don't hate the game. Don't hate the player, hate the game. I hate that saying, but that's really the best way to say it. We have to take each other individually. We can't, like when someone says, oh, that dude's a piece of shit or whatever, or that dude did something, or he's a liar or did this or that. I always like to find out for myself, I will have it in the back of my head, of course, that like, okay, this guy supposedly is a liar. So I'll just keep that in mind, but we have to do that with everybody, and try to come from a place of love. And like, look, this isn't, I'm not going to have like a peace love channel either. That's not where I'm at. I try not to swear too much, because for multiple reasons, because I'm a Christian and I'm saved. And for that reason, and I already know I'm going to lose watchers and subscribers just for saying that. But I'm going to stand on that rock and hold my head up high to let everyone know that I am a Christian. And I didn't used to be. I became a Christian at the age of 53. 53, I became a Christian. No, I was 51. man, I had that all wrong. I became a Christian, and my desires changed instantly. So that's how I know. That's the biggest proof I need. That's all the proof I needed when the Holy Spirit came in. Anyway, I don't want to get into that. This isn't. I'm not a. I am going to do a prayer channel, but this is totally separate. But that's why I don't swear, because I don't feel like I need to in a lot of things. But sometimes there's nothing better than a good F-bomb. Yeah, my never mind. I'm not going to tell that story. But anyway, so that's the deal with what's going on with my channel. I'm going to try to do, like I said, more lives, share more about my life, where I came from. And man, I knew I was going to say that. I said that in the beginning, but I want to start off with that because I know a lot of people have dropped off because it's kind of the end of the video and the stream. But I do want to share my life, and why I feel like I have something to say that will give these court hearings value. Just like Law Talk with Mike gives it value. He doesn't give a lot of legal advice, but he knows like the ins and outs on the legal side. But a lot of times he'll ask questions about, the regular Joe, and I'll have that answer. So I feel like I can answer those questions on the other side that like guys, like lawyer guys that wouldn't know, if it's a jail term or a street term or something like that. But yeah. So anyways, please hit the like button, or smash it, as everyone says on YouTube. Smash that like button. Give it a big hip thrust, like Leon Lush says. And man, we're gonna have fun this year. This is gonna be a great year. I'm moving back to where my tattoo shop is in Billings, so I'm not 8 hours away from it. Taking my family back there because I couldn't provide for them here, and we're just kind of just squeaking by. So yeah, I need to get back to work and provide a good life for my family, and I'm super excited about it. But I can't wait to come up with some good, things for the channel, some more good things. But anyway, everybody take care. Thank you for watching. I really appreciate it. And everyone have a great night, and God bless.